Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Ed.
Morning, Bobby. How you doing?
Doing great, man. How about you?
I can't complain. It's another day. It seems like, the summertime. I know we're not summer yet, but it seems like how freaking hot we are this week.
Something.
Yeah. It's like the days are so much longer and you do so much stuff.
Yeah.
Right. In the winter, you're like, oh, it's time for bed. It's 6:30.
Yeah. I wish it could be longer days with the cooler weather, man, but unfortunately they don't go hand in hand.
Well, it was there. We had, up until this point, it's been pretty cool. Right. It's just this last week, last weekend was great. I got my pool warm enough. It was 78. Everybody, most people like 82, but 78 was fine for me.
Yeah.
I was in it when it was 40 something. So it's much warmer now.
My favorite thing about summer is like, if for some reason I have a busy week, I can still mow the lawn at 8:00 at night.
I'll hire somebody.
Yeah.
I want to mow my own lawn. That's actually, we're going to put fake grass. So backyard, that's fake. We're going to put fake in the front. So much better.
You'll stop getting landscaper inquiries, huh?
Well, no, the way we're going to redo our whole front to where, and I was going to do concrete up front, but then somebody I know from the pool company, they started with pavers, and I'm like, let's do something with pavers up front, making something totally different, different colors and to match the house, or just the only thing that has to get done though is I have to rip out my front porch.
Now, I had someone who was actually interested in the artificial turf recently, right? And I said, you might want to go and price it out.
It's expensive.
I'm gonna say, because I know it's not cheap, man. I remember someone telling me like their yard was like $20,000.
Yeah, well, that's expensive. It's probably almost 3 times as expensive as regular lawn, but you don't have to do anything with it. It's just the work that they have to do.
Yeah.
And I went to Malone's and looked at there, and there was many different levels of turf. And actually the second level down was the most natural looking for us.
Oh, good.
And it's like it looks like grass, and we have it in the back so that we don't have to mow our backyard or get back there with a mower,
Now that you have a pool, you don't want to get grass in your pool once a week, right?
Right. The other issue is not only that, but even my gardener's like, your guys' jasmine, it's going to be a pain to trim that. It's going to get in the pool. I'm like, I know. That's okay. I'll get those leaves out, but that's why we're not going to put any other tree back there, because we have enough leaves as it is, and there is no trees back there.
Yeah.
And there's not a neighbor tree right next to us, so.
Yeah, which, since we're talking about trees next to pools, one of the things I've seen that creates the most nightmares for people
Roots?
Well, no, I was going to say palm trees.
Oh, why?
If you have a pool, do not put a palm tree in your backyard.
Why?
Because it drops all those pods.
Oh,
right. And so then the pods will soak up water, and they'll either, if they sink down, if they're in there long enough, they'll clog your little vacuum. Otherwise, they get stuck in your skimmer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just a mess.
Yeah, the only thing I have a sago palm in the front I've had forever. I'm gonna move that in the back by the waterfall because it needs something there, but I don't want to put a tree there. Right, there was a tree there, and it would have dropped all the stuff in. So if I put that there, and then a bunch of grasses, different levels of grasses and colors, it'll look much nicer.
Yeah, sago's good. Those things in 100 years will only be 10 feet tall, right?
I know, but the thing, it's already 5 feet tall. It's been around a while. I've had it for a while. And our last house, we had 2 almost look like palm trees crossing, because the way that sago at the time, I had found it years and years ago, and I put it back there. It was perfect.
You just always thought about in and out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Kids hated it because they hit it all the time. Oh, that hurts. Well, don't get back there.
Well, and for homeowners right now, if you're thinking about doing yard projects, right, even though you might not plan on selling right away or anytime soon, you never know what might happen. And always, I get the question, what kind of work should I do to my place, right? And I'm always like, make sure you do something that other people are going to like.
Right, exactly.
Because recently I've seen a lot of folks completely take out their lawn and do like a low maintenance, like natural plants.
You mean
front
like
yard
cactus and stuff?
Well, like dry river
rocks, right? Yeah,
yeah. That's great. I mean, it saves you a ton on work. But if you were going to sell your house to a younger family with kids, they're like, well, they got nowhere to run.
Yeah.
And
play with the rocks. Throw rocks.
Yeah. Here, thrown by mom's car. So just something to think about,
It's everything. Your house, whatever you do, make it so other people want, right? I mean, just because you like black doesn't mean people want the walls black, right?
I remember that post that Mike Kelly did I think it was about 6 months ago. It's over in his neighborhood, right? And somebody, no joke, it is like primary green The
house?
the whole house,
Wow.
wall. I mean, the exterior trim and everything. I was like, man.
No, you got to pick a color that other people want down the road when you go to sell it, because when you're going to sell it, it's not going to be the right time. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's going to be, we need to sell because we found this other place. And then you don't want to have to go in and paint everything. Nobody wants to go in and paint everything. Keep things neutral. Keep it to what most people want. You can still enjoy certain things and have it your way, but just don't do unique stuff. And we talked about this before, putting like your favorite football team in the bottom of your pool. It's not really the smartest thing to do. Well, I mean, you can sell more Raider pools in this area, but
yeah,
or San Francisco, but it's hard to do a Denver Bronco one.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah. The other thing, remember that LLPA thing that came with Fannie and Freddie?
Yeah,
where they were like going to hit you more for if you had really good credit. They kind of, everybody complained so much that they stopped it.
Yeah, I heard that last Friday, and I was like,
it was actually before that, but I totally forgot to mention it, that they had stopped it.
yeah.
And that's good, because a lot of people ask me, I have people ask me, does that affect VA? No. Does that affect FHA? No. Only was Fannie and Freddie, and now luckily that went away. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's what's good, right? The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Well, they didn't even. I'm tired of these, and it was an executive order, but that's basically what's happened. Nothing's going through Congress and the Senate to pass to become a law like it's supposed to, right? Or bill, and then all that kind of stuff. It's not doing it. Conjunction junction. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they should have watched that back
then. That's right. How do I become a bill? How do I come along?
I think he was already in the Senate then.
No, but it's like, there's just nothing gets done the way it's, because what happens is executive orders go away. If it was done through Congress and the Senate, it stays.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the problem. Too many executive orders and not enough. Let's see what the people want.
Well, exactly, right? Because a stupid idea is going to get shot down before it ever makes it into law, right?
You would think.
I mean, I got an email just the other day of some of the ridiculous things that like bills are proposed, like through the California legislature. And I was surprised to see that those got scrapped, because out here, just about anything gets voted for that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, well, you got SB 2 something A or something else coming. We were talking to the sheriff last weekend, and it's a concealed weapons permit one, where they're trying to make it to where every business is a concealed weapons allowed place.
Uh-huh.
You have to state that it's okay for someone to carry a gun in your place, instead of the other way where you have to state you don't want the gun in your place.
Gotcha.
So basically those places just put "come rob me" on the front door.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're saying. I don't want that in here. Or come rob us.
Yeah.
But when a cop comes in with one, what do you do? Right? Undercover, playing dude. Give me a break,
Yeah. Let us be free.
Move on. Two things that are important.
Yeah.
Law and order. We need to protect our area. I mean, that's the one thing that was nice having the sheriff on the radio show last weekend, was the fact that our numbers are down, for as Mike Kelly calls it, murder, death, kill from Demolition Man. Basically we've only had this Stanislaus County hasn't had any, and the Modesto PD has had one so far for the year. This was as of last weekend.
Really?
Yeah. One murder. Yeah.
That is excellent.
Yeah. And then the sheriff's like, it was kind of splitting hairs, because it fell to the right, it was the MPD. If it would have fell to the left, it would have been the sheriff.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of weird how it's cut up like
right in the border. So
yeah.
So that's good. I mean, and a lot of the stuff that we don't have to deal with, the big cities have to deal with, is because everybody, the sheriff's he's against the cash, all that stuff. And that's what we want. We want those type of people in our area.
Yeah. Well, and that's really encouraging to hear that our crime statistics are improving through good policing, good policy, right? Because last night I was watching a short little documentary on just like the crime in San Francisco, right? And it just shows the opposite, right? Like, hey, you make sure everyone gets a slap on the wrist for burglarizing or robbing stores and breaking into cars. The city just goes sideways.
Yeah, and that's Chicago, San Francisco, all those places that's soft on crime is having problems, and they wonder why. And I mean, when you have a store that Nordstrom's have had 2 huge places there forever.
Yeah.
I mean, forever decide to leave. And they're not the only ones. T-Mobile, some other big places that have had big stores there, big corporate offices are like, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And that's not good. I mean, they need to come back and fix that. And then, they want to fix it. National Guard. Yeah, that's the answer.
A little heavy-handed, man. Just do your job.
We do not need our military inside of our country policing.
Yeah.
Then that is now turned into a police state, and we are no longer free. And that's why that stuff needs to stay out. That's like the CIA is not supposed to do anything in the United States, and then they're doing the stuff that they're doing that for other people's elections that they control. They mess with ours, and that's all I'll say. And I'll move on before somebody comes in the door and handcuffs me and takes me out.
Right.
Anyway, make it a great day. I mean, it's great out there. It's nice and warm. Be careful. But now is the best time to buy. In the next 5 years, now is the best time to buy. And in 5 years from now, you're going to be going, I wish I would have bought when they said the best time to buy was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I can only imagine what the rest of the real estate market is going to look like in 5 years, unless for some reason they really ease up on regulations and just let these builders just go out and really start doing what they do. We're going to just continue to see shortage.
Right. And what I said is what they need to do is not give money to people to buy. They need to give them to builders. I think we talked about it last week, but give it to builders to build, reduce their prices for the cost of the home, the permits, the other stuff. So get that money they were going to give to them to give to these reductions and to the cities, have the cities cut them down, do a fast track, start to end less than 1 year. Let's get a bunch of these homes built. Only the builders who are going to build for people to live in and own it, not the ones who are building to rent.
Yeah.
That's the caveat.
Yeah.
Only do it for the people. And then that would get the people back to building the houses that we need. We need a 2006 and 4 through 6 build right now, even though people are still going, we don't need that many homes. Yes, we do.
And it's frustrating because there's developers that want to do this, but it's so cost ineffective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they get the plans, the permits, everything like that, now the market's taking a turn. And that's why they're so scared. It's just like, hey, strike while the iron's hot. Let them build these homes so people get into them.
Well, the thing is this is not going to go away for 20 years. That's the problem. People don't understand that. We don't have enough homes. Yeah. We're not building enough homes. If we were building 1.7 million homes a year to offset the 1.9 million new households being created, we're still short, but they say we need 17 million homes over a decade. We're not even close to building that. And once we get there, it'll be 10 years. Yeah. You follow me? And it's just, we're just not there, and it's not going to happen. So
then my kids will be ready to buy a home.
Well, then the pandemic babies are coming at that point, and that's bigger than the baby boomer generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm glad to see some babies being had.
Well, all I'm saying is I can't wait till those kids get to you better teach your kids how to vote. That's all I got to say, because by then we need it changed. Yeah. Actually, by then I don't want to change because I want to be living off the government at that time. All right, everybody, make it a great day.